What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today is Sunday. What's that? 23rd? 23rd, 24th? What is today's date? 25th. My bad. But anyway, I know, right? What am I doing on here on a Sunday? I usually don't even show up on the weekends, but came here to get started shipping early. Get things out the way, and just have a little talk. One of the things I do want to talk about is people still who, I don't want to say complaining, but who are saying that they have slow sales, specifically pertaining to a post. Sometimes I like to go through the post on Facebook, maybe even make a video about it, talking about it, because a lot of people experience it. But I also want to kind of go through the comments. As far as like sales, I don't know, man. I haven't been having a problem with it. Those auctions I was talking about, I actually won one of them. I let the other one go. It went a little bit higher than I wanted to, and hopefully I didn't get these canceled. Let me double check. I'm gonna have to log in. I don't think they got canceled, so I should get them. One of the auctions. So what happens if you get the auction canceled? It'll go back to you as a credit, and you can either have the money, and refund it back, or use it toward the purchase of another item. So, of course, I just used it toward the purchase. Well, right now they're not canceled. All right, so one of them is 2 pallets of beauty goods, 1,589 units. After I used the credit on that one, my total came to $4,235. And then the other one is a pallet, home goods. Got 781 units, and that total came to 1,076. So total amount is what, 552, about 5,300. Hopefully they don't get canceled. They ain't canceled as of right now, and that might be. I'll probably hold off on. Well, I'm gonna probably order another makeup lot, and then I might be, until I get caught up after this. It might be all of that order for a month or so. I don't want to stock, because we're going into September, so I'm definitely not about to slow down per se, but I'm gonna have to get through that, because you're talking about what, almost 1,700 units, and of course some of that stuff will be probably unsellable. But so like what I'll do is, when I calculate the cost of goods and the amount that I want to pay, for instance, on that palette of health and beauty, it's a lot of good stuff in there, but I know how it's gonna, I bought them before. So of those 1,589 units, I'll calculate my cost of goods on that, according to the highest price I want to pay, right? So my high on that one was 4,000, and I'll calculate my cost of goods there. Then I'll recalculate it based on maybe a few hundred units not being sellable at all, not counting like anything I could sell for parts or anything. I just a few hundred units. So I might go. So if it's 1,589, I might go down to 1,200, 1,300. And what's my cost of goods? With that same 4,000, what would be my cost of goods? And then I try to see, like, if, in a really bad scenario, would it still be worth it for me to buy? So that's kind of how I do it. So if I go, hell, even if I go down to 1,100 units and my cost of goods is still in that $3 to $4 range for the type of items that I'm getting, I'm cool with that. But because I know I'm gonna get my money back, I ain't worried about it. But I want to see how much, you know what I mean? But anyway, having said that, sales. So here's the thing in the group. Person said, "What the hell? I went from making $100 a day for 3 years to not a single sale in 2 weeks. It's getting ridiculous." All right, so you already know that this got a bunch of comments, and let's say as of right now, 245 comments. Let me get my arm off of there, but 245 comments. Now, I'm not gonna go through them all, but I will go through some, because some of them make sense, some of them don't make sense. What I will say about that, though, let me just say my part. As far as like, see, comments like this are hard because you don't know the person's background, you don't know the person's story, you don't know what they've been selling. There are so many reasons why an individual can go from making $100 a day for 3 years to not a single sale in 2 weeks. Like, when you don't give any background on that, it's really hard to diagnose like why. And I think some people do that on purpose, right? They don't give you no background on purpose. So, but I don't think they're, besides a person, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, besides a person not being active and actively responding to the atmosphere of you know, what's going on in the reselling world, what's going on eBay, what's going on with the market that you're selling in. Like, if you're just not listening, I don't understand what's the complaint. To go 2 weeks with no sales, if you were getting $100 in sales a day every day for 3 years, there had to have been a drop off before that 2 weeks. Look, eBay has its problems. One thing I know though, I'll just say this from my own experience. I've never gone from having consistent sales to 0 sales out of nowhere for no reason. Only time my sales have dropped is when either the quality of the items I listed kind of dropped, or when I just wasn't participating that much. You know what I mean? I've never really had that issue. Or what type of items are you selling? Are you like, I don't know, are you selling winter items in the summer? It just makes no sense. But I'm gonna go through some of these comments because some of these people are just crazy, man. So one person said, elections have consequences. Maybe we should elect someone who supports small business, entrepreneurs, and capitalism. And then, of course, another person says, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. That has nothing to do with the person's comment. Seriously, it don't. Because one, you don't know why the person doesn't have the sales. And then two, what in the heck does the election have to do with why they don't have sales? Like, especially when you don't know the reason. People just bring up stuff just, I don't know, man. Do they want a response? Do they? Because that comment got 44 likes and hearts. And then the person who said absolutely got 9 likes and hearts. It's absolutely correct. He rather than she. Not so sure I'm down with the whole capitalistic approach. I'm also humanitarian. And stop those 1099s paying taxes on selling used stuff is ridiculous. Yeah, so there's all you got the political comments that have literally nothing to do with the reason why this person may be experiencing no sales for 2 weeks, right? Another person said, I could bring in 10K a month on eBay easy. I get 7K if I'm lucky. It's around 4 or 5K normally now. Started last year for me when I noticed numbers drop. Excuse me. Something changed on eBay, but I can't work out what. And then the person replied, living crisis, the economy maybe, bodies in freezers, trucks, empty supermarket shelves, record unemployment, no thanks. Another person said, wild to see you say this. Around March last year, I fell off from my normal 10 to 12K a month for the prior 2 years before that, and now I'm struggling to get past 4 to 6K a month. That's a big drop off. That's a huge drop off. 4 to 6K a month with better inventory and more competitive pricing, with free returns and 7% promoted listings. Something's going on. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, because here's my thing. My sales is going up. And this person said they promoting at 7%. I typically promote at 5% across the board. I don't have anything that I can think of that's promoted higher. I got a few that's a little bit lower depending on what it is. But for the most part, I'm at 5% across the board. And I'm listing, so I've been listing better inventory, more desirable inventory. Keep my promotions around the same, and my sales are up 40% last time I checked, which was yesterday. and it's continuing to go up. My 90-day, I think when we started this, I told y'all my 90-day was at what, 5 or 6,000. Right now I'm about to be at 11.5K for my 90-day. Again, I already spoke about what I wanted my goal to be for my eBay store and where I was trying to get it to. But see, like with me, I listen to what's going on. When something's not working, I respond by making changes. I wonder what's going on with these people, right? Dude, they don't tell us. There's a reason when your sales, if your sales drop off for an extended period of time, there's a reason, and I wouldn't put that reason totally on a platform. I really wouldn't. Short-term drop-offs, maybe. And by short-term, I mean, anywhere from a couple days to maybe a couple weeks or so. There really shouldn't be anything crazy happening on the platform that if you have the right type of items that should cause your sales to drop over an extended period for quote-unquote no reason, right? But I mean, not saying that it can't happen. I just don't know. But back up to the other comment when they said I could bring in 10K a month on eBay easy. I get 7 if I'm lucky. It's around 4 or 5K now. Started last year for me when I noticed numbers drop. Something changed, but I can't work out what. So if it started last year, what have you been doing? You said you don't know what, right? Something changed on eBay, but I can't work out what. But what if the change is in what you're doing? What if I think sometimes people see something working, and then when it stopped working, they are so stubborn that they keep doing the same thing the same way, and when it don't work, they think there's something wrong on the other end, right? They don't blame themselves, and I'm not saying even blame yourself in a way where you're wrong, so to speak, right? But where you're looking at solving the problem the wrong way. If what you're doing isn't working right, you have to change what you're doing, how you are doing it. If the inventory is not moving the same, you may have to change the type of inventory. Look, I am open to taking my business in any direction that I think it, needs to go in order for it to survive. And as much as I tell y'all I hate selling clothes, if that was like the last resort and I knew it would work, then I would do what I got to do. I just hate it, and I would. You better believe I'm gonna look for some other options. But not, when the rubber meets the road, if that's the direction that I need to go, then I'm gonna do it, because I'm not gonna keep trying to force a square into a round hole, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not gonna fit, man. It's not gonna fit. And so if you go 2 weeks, no sales, and you doing the same thing, I don't think it's eBay's fault. If you went from 10K a month, now you're around 4 or 5K, and you went a year, and you still seeing something changed on eBay, I just feel like you're taking the wrong approach. I think the issue isn't necessarily eBay. I think the issue is with the individual, the seller. That's just my opinion. And everybody gotta ride it out. Our economy is rough, and people tend to slow purchasing around elections. Be thankful for every sale and tighten up. People are tapped on credit buying necessities. Think about changing up what you sell. And that's a good advice. People are tapped. Think about, I'll go with the second part. I don't think people go keep using credit. They don't care. Think about changing up what you sell. That right there is good advice. But that's the only person that said that. It's so oversaturated now. I've been switching up what I sell, having better luck. See? I've been switching up what I sell and having better luck. You just got to change it up, man. Look, the market is constantly speaking to us. And if you have to listen, and you have to be willing to make the changes. I think a lot of people know what it's saying, know what the market's saying, know what everything is going on, but they're not willing to make the changes. And some people aren't willing to buy the type of inventory that is in demand enough to keep your sales up and to keep your business growing. If you're in decline, in like a precipitous decline, like some of these people, right, where you ain't got no sales for 2 weeks straight, like, come on, man. Or you go from 10K down to 4 to 5K for no, like, for instance, I went from, what, 30,000 something 90 day on eBay. I think I got down to $5,000 90 day, but I knew why, because I wasn't doing eBay that much. I was just putting a little bit of stuff on there, and I was doing a lot of more Amazon and Walmart. So in that case, I can say, man, I went from doing 30,000 90 day, having a 30,000 90 day to only 5. Something's wrong with eBay. No, I wasn't listing the type of stuff on eBay that I really wasn't listing a whole lot of much on eBay. Period. So now, having said that, doing what I'm doing now, which is bringing my 90 day back up, if I'm doing that, selling the types of items that I'm selling, knowing how in demand these are, and I still wasn't getting the sales, then I would be like, all right, something ain't right. Something's going on eBay. I don't know what it is. But the fact of the matter is I'm getting sales. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of low ball offers. Oh man, a ridiculous amount actually. But sometimes I counter, sometimes I don't, sometimes I just decline. Like, I'm not going to play this game with people. Because 9 times out of 10 in my experience, they don't either they don't accept it or they keep it pushing. But then a lot of items I just be like, it ain't as much as I want it, but I'm going to just go ahead and take the offer, right? Because 1, I'm getting the items cheap, and 2, I'd rather get rid of the item, that makes me think about what some of these people's prices are. You know what I feel like? I feel like a lot of people, because of the economy and because they themselves are hurting money wise, they probably got high prices. They don't want to come down on their prices because they're struggling, and they feel like there's something. Look, the value of what you're selling isn't determined by what you think it's worth. It's determined by the market. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard that already, but I've had items listed. Listen to this. I've had items listed at what it's worth, usually on the market. It could be $100. It could be $40. It could be $150. Everywhere on every platform, that's the price. And it'll sit, and it'll sit, and it'll sit. Then I start playing around like, all right, man, it's been a couple months or whatever, or longer. And then I'll drop it. And maybe, like, all right, let's start with a $100 item. Let's say I got an item and it's selling for about $100 on every platform. Walmart, eBay, Amazon, whatever, right? I ain't getting no traction. This has happened before. I ain't getting no traction. I drop it. Maybe I drop it down to 80, 89. Yeah. I might drop it down to 69, right? Then I might start getting some offers on it. And offers will come in 30, 40, of course, way less than I want. But see, before that, there would be no traction. I wouldn't even get an offer most of the time. Nothing. Like, the item would just sit stale. And this lets me know that there's something in eBay's algorithm that a lower price will trigger for eBay to show your item more, but not just any price. Because even when I step down my prices, it doesn't always result in traction or offers until I get below a certain threshold. And look, I can't explain why that is. I'm not saying the people who selling it for more aren't getting those sales. I ain't about to sit around and wait 2, 3, 4, 5 years for nothing to sell either. That's not my thing. But then that same $100 item, now I get down to 69, right? Boom, getting some offers. Finally, I'm just like, you know what? At this point, the item been sitting. I might take the $40, $50 offer. You know what I'm saying? I'm still making money on it. It ain't like I'm paying $30 for the damn item. You know what I mean? So I sell it. And then what? It's $60 less. So, like, you have to be willing to listen. And then it just lets me know, like, okay, if this is happening over and over again across my store, I really got to think about my prices. I really got to think about what I'm offering to the customers and what the customers is willing to pay. Because today's price ain't yesterday's price. You know what I'm saying? And even if the customer was willing to pay you $100 4 months ago, well, they can't do it now. Like some of the people said, the economy. That definitely will have an influence. So today, now, man, they might just be willing to pay you $40. That might be all they got. Now, the problem is some of y'all overpaid and you don't want to take that loss. But you're going to take a loss because if you don't sell it, you're losing. Let's go look at a couple more. We are in a recession. It's to be expected. People can't afford their needs, much less their wants. They can't afford groceries or insurance. I mean, that's some of it. I hear Whatnot is growing fast and wonder if a lot more are buying there. I sell a ton on Whatnot, but you don't get full market over there. But if you want to sell volume, that's the place. Yeah, so somebody said used car part sales always stand pretty much the same. Just noticed that more buyers, nearly all, keeps giving silly best offers, so I do refuse a lot of sales. Yeah, since I finally started putting up the car parts, they are selling. And honestly, for the most part, without many offers, people are just buying them. But I specifically underpriced them under market value for the majority of them. I look at what they selling on eBay, Walmart, and Amazon, and I go lower, especially if there's a higher sell-through rate on Amazon than them. So if it's selling 50 on Amazon, I might go $29.99 on eBay. I'm just trying to get rid of them at this point, but I need room. But and I don't want. Those aren't things that I really want to hold on to, for sure. End of summer always puts a slowdown on sales, but other than that, inflation. Look, somebody said, here we go again. We now have 10 million illegals in the U.S. that we're paying for. Student loans being covered by taxpayers. Now $25,000 to new home buyers. Who do you think will pay for these? U.S. citizens. The common blue-collar workers will. We eventually pay out 45% of our income to cover this mess. All right. None of that got to do with what the person said. I get it, right? Some of that is true. Some of it maybe not so much yet, but so the point is, the person said, I went from making $100 a day for 3 years to not a single sale in 2 weeks. That's the question, or that's the statement. A lot of those responses are not answers at all. And comments like these just always make me wish the person gave more context. Let us know what you sell. Let us know what you've been selling that's been getting you these consistent sales, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for 2 weeks straight, you ain't getting those sales. Then people can make comments, but also, guys, we got to stay grounded in reality, man. Okay? Yeah, there's an element of the economy that has an influence. There's an element of all of that. But at the end of the day, when you're troubleshooting problems like this, you're troubleshooting sales, right? You start from the easiest solution and you work your way back, right? And for me, the easiest solution, if I'm not having sales, and I'm not talking about a day or two of problems on eBay and sales being, because we know eBay does that. This is common knowledge at this point that you can have a $5,000 day on eBay and then have a $300 day like it ain't nothing, right? We know that. But if that was to extend every single week, then there may be an issue. But if you're still getting sales, you're getting sales. Typically speaking, you're not going to go from having consistent sales, whatever amount, to having no sales at all for an extended period of time, like 2 weeks. I think, unless there's something going on your end, I just don't think it works that way, man. In my experience doing this, it has not happened. Hell, even when my store was dropping down and I was clearing it out, and because I pretty much stripped it, there was a couple days, I think I may have had like one day here and there with no sales. But even with the stuff I was selling, it wasn't super high sell through and low dollar stuff, I would still get 1 or 2 sales, maybe 3 sales a day. You know what I'm saying? I never went like days with no sales, let alone weeks. So that means that there's something wrong with the person and with what they are doing. So look, y'all, there's a lot going on in the economy. There's a lot going on, in each household. Everybody's trying to figure out how to make ends meet, man. And at the end of the day, we got to figure out how our business is going to service the needs and wants of those who are, going through this, because they still want to buy stuff. They still want to buy stuff. Like I said, today's price ain't yesterday's price. They're going to buy it. They're just not going to pay what they usually would pay. And you got to be willing to understand that and come down on that. Or the types of items that you sell just may not be what's in, in favor right now. You might have to change up what you sell. So start with the easiest solution first. If you're having issues with sales, look at what you're selling. Look at your prices. Look at your listings. Don't look at eBay as being a problem first. Look at what you're doing and eliminate the issues on your end first. Once you eliminate the issues on your end and you know, okay, I'm doing what I gotta do. I know my prices is good. I check my listings. My items is still desirable. I mean, they're priced right, all that good stuff. Now let me see what's going on this end. But I do think that if you do that and you're doing it right, I think you'll find that even on eBay, despite all the, the chatter, even on eBay, your sales will stay fairly consistent for the most part. Your sales will climb. So a lot of times, y'all, we just got to change up what we selling, man. We got to change up what we selling. But that's all I got for y'all today. I hope y'all been having a good weekend in sales. I do got a lot going on. You can see? I don't know. You don't see that? You got that right there. That's just with eBay so far. I don't know, I think that is, actually, I can tell y'all. That's 32 items. And I think, last time I checked, I think I got, and I got 4 pending on eBay. That's just eBay. I ain't even do Walmart and them yet. And my Walmart order's been less because I've been doing more WFS, which has been freeing me up to, one, get a bunch of this stuff listed that I'm behind on. And it's going to free me up to be able to do some of the things that I have planned in the future. But I haven't really had a crap ton of Walmart orders because I've been sending it in. So I think I'm going to continue with that method because it's giving me more time to do some of these other things. So that's it, man. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Hit the subscribe button if you ain't subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Also, if you're in a channel member, you're going to want to be a channel member because you ain't going to want to miss out on what's coming up, man. I'll catch you on the next video.